Underneath the hood of the Accord, there are two different engine choices that are available. The default engine inside of the vehicle is a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine, but you've also got the option for this, and it's a 2 liter naturally aspirated hybrid. Traditional hybrid, so there's no plug-in capabilities, but it does give you a great combined power output with way better fuel economy in comparison to the regular 1.5 liter. Combined power output is 204 horsepower and an impressive 264 pound-feet of torque. So, gotta get myself back up to highway speed here, put myself into sport mode. We'll go in 3, 2, and 100. Interesting. Okay. So the performance there, that was surprisingly good. So you kind of get the best of both worlds inside of the hybrid. You get more power combined, and you also get better fuel economy. And I just think that's a win for the hybrid. It does come at a cost though, but I'll touch on the economy in just a second. Under the hood here, you can easily top up your fluids, check and change your oil as well. And then the warranty inside of the Accord is pretty industry standard. Your basic is going to be a 3-year, 36,000 miles, 60,000 kilometer. The powertrain gets bumped up to 5 years, 60,000 mile, 100,000 kilometer. And then the hybrid electric components inside of the ride are covered for 8 years, 100,000 mile, 160,000 K. You just want to make sure you take your vehicle in for regularly scheduled maintenance, but at least regularly change the oil to get the best possible life out of your ride. I've seen Accords easily roll over 300,000-400,000 kilometers, but it hinges on you taking care of this vehicle. It doesn't matter which trim level of the Accord you're looking at, you're always going to find LED headlamps inside of the ride. And the lamps, they're subtle, but lit up at night, look pretty good. There's the option for a forward sensing system inside of the ride, but you won't find a 360 camera. But still, those parking sensors, forwards, backwards, are pretty useful. Style-wise, there's a nice black gloss highlight that follows all the way throughout, so a little lip on the lower part of the bumper. That matches nicely with the gloss highlight you're going to find inside of that grille, with the Honda badge wrapped nicely in the middle there. The Accord does have a series of different wheel sizes and styles available. At a minimum, you're looking at 17-inch wheels going up to a 19-inch with some different wheel styles depending on the trim level that you've chosen. This is the touring trim, so you're looking at 19s with a nice split spoke wheel. I do like the style. If it was fully black, it'd be perfect for me, but you've always got the option of hydro dipping. Drivetrain-wise, you're only going to find the Accord front-wheel drive. I'm in Canada, and I've driven front-wheel drive cars in the wintertime for years. No issue front-wheel drive with winter. I prefer all-wheel drive myself, but realistically, just throw a good set of winter tires on there and the car will more than have you covered. This one is in the Canyon Gray Metallic, but if you were to ask me, I would say the Canyon River Blue Metallic with tinted windows would look so good inside of this ride. The rear end styling of the Accord is simple. You're going to find LED tail lamps in the back, and the lamps are wrapped with this beautiful glossy black bezel that wraps all the way throughout. The lower part of the bumper also has that nice black highlight. And then tech-wise, you're going to find the reverse park sensing system along with the backup camera. Getting into the trunk can be done a few different ways, so you can utilize the key fob to do it, but just underneath the Honda badge, there's also a little button that you can push in order to lift it up instead. And there is a surprising amount of room back here. Feature-wise, there's nothing off to the left side, nothing off to the right side. This one has the available thermoplastic rubber tray that you're going to find right from the factory. And honestly, the rubber tray, at least for the first row, second row seats, useful. The cargo area, if you're going to be putting a bunch of things in the back here, it's just so much easier to take this out and spray it down in comparison to the carpeted mats instead. But that's going to come down to a matter of preference. But underneath the tray here, lifting up, you're not going to find a spare tire inside of the ride. So there's just a little inflator kit. And then there's also going to be a little white spigot. So there's no mini spare tire inside of this ride. So if you ever pop a tire, puncture a tire, you're SOL to a degree. Because one of the nice things about being a Honda owner is that you have access to roadside assistance. And that's good for 3 years with a number of different coverages. So you can call an 800 number and a tow truck can help out with tire changing, fuel delivery, winching, lockout services, and so many other things. So it's just one of the added benefits of being a Honda owner. And if you really wanted a spare tire because you're going somewhere off-roading, or you just want it for added peace of mind for distance trips, you can always get a donut and then just add in an aftermarket jack stand yourself. Folding down the second row seats has to be done from the trunk area to a degree. So there are releases on the left and the right-hand side. So you could pull those releases. And then in order to fold the seats down, if you can reach it from the trunk, you can go down and push in order to lower the seats. But if you can't reach it from the trunk area, pop those second row doors open and you can fold down the seats. And it's a 40-60 split. And you do have quite a little bit of space inside of this ride. Then the dimensions that you're looking at for behind the first row are going from right where the trunk would close, so right at the end there, to just in behind that little armrest between the first row seats. So if the driver's seat, passenger seat were forwards or backwards, you'd lose or gain a little bit of extra space, but you can fit a lot of junk inside of this trunk. Filling up fuel inside of the Accord is done just along the driver's side. And one nice thing is that when the car's locked, the fuel door is also locked. So you just have to unlock in order to gain access to the fuel door there. And it is a capless system. So it has anti-siphon technology built in. But if you ever needed to fill up using a jerry can, white spigot is just in the trunk. When it comes to fuel quality, minimum manufacturer's recommendation is just regular 87. So regular gas is all you need to use. And now, the question of, do you look at the hybrid or do you go for the regular internal combustion engine instead? It's going to come down to your driving habits and what you care about inside of your ride. When I was on the highway picking this car up, I was averaging about 5.1 liters per 100. I got it as low as 4.9. And that's just because of that electric motor and the battery. It's just going to propel the car forward so you can coast, if you're not gunning it and driving like a donkey. But if you can kind of keep yourself in check as you drive, the hybrid could be worth it because you're getting roughly 20 to 25% better fuel economy inside of the hybrid compared to the regular gas engine. So if you typically spend $3,000 a year in gas, you might be able to save $600 to $800 per year. Over the course of 5 to 7 years of ownership, that's $3,000 to $6,000 that you'd save over the course of the lifetime that you own this ride. So it could be worth it for the right person. If you're after more power, better fuel economy, it's a car that I'd probably recommend you look at. The Accord is a 4-door sedan. You can see I am towering over this ride, but there's a surprising amount of space inside. And getting into the first row is incredibly easy. Getting into the second, equally as easy. And there are assist handles in the first and second row across all 4 doors. The Accord features a walk-away lock. So as long as you've got the fob on, you walk away, the door will lock. And there are some other pretty cool key fob tricks as well. But if you want to know what they are and how to use them, you'll find a walkthrough down below. The Accord features manual folding, side view mirrors with turn signals. There's also a blind spot system. So if somebody enters the blind spot on either side, that's going to highlight to let you know. There's intelligent access. You can also push there to lock the doors, slide your hand in order to unlock. Ooh, before we get inside, there's the option for driver's seat memory inside of the ride. You're going to find basics like side view mirror controls, window controls with some storage. You've got a few different types of seating material that are available with power adjustable first row seats. There's a button there in order to open up the trunk. And then, up and inside with a little startup here. Look at this. That's nice. So you've got a lot, like there's so much to know about this ride, but like if you want full walkthroughs, you want to know how to use the different steering wheel buttons, go through the cluster, the infotainment, things like that, you'll find walkthroughs down in the description of this video. You're going to find adaptive cruise control inside of the Accord, along with a heated steering wheel, fully digital cluster screen with the option for Hold on, this one's neat. Oh yeah, look at that. Full mapping cluster. Love that feature. So you do have Google Maps built into the screen, so some Google services. There's a head-up display, so your turn-by-turn directions can also show there. And there are so many different things about this ride. The infotainment system here, so it is based off of Android operating system. So Android based, it's essentially a full Google tablet because you've got the flexibility of going into the Play Store to download different apps right to the screen. But what else can I tell you here? It's wireless, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with backwards compatibility. So you can go over USB if you'd like to. Because it's Google based, you've got Google built in there as well. Nice pinch to zoom capabilities. Hopping back home, you've got, like I said, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay that are full screen. Maps built in. There's a voice assistant built in. You can use Alexa on top of that. Since this is the hybrid, you've also got your power flow. So you can see what's going on with your current battery level, your current driving range, and what range you've gotten, or economy, I should say, you've gotten for your current drive. This, I don't know if I'm too crazy about that. Like the design, it's kind of like cyberpunk-esque. But you could always do like an aftermarket 3M wrap. I think that's the route that I would go with. I'm not, like I said, I'm not too crazy about the design. You just have to make sure that you don't cover up the vents here as well. There's a nice glossy highlight there. There's dual zone climate control. The option for heated and ventilated first row seats on the driver passenger side. You've got basic options here for your climate. So you still do have tactile buttons, which are great. So you're not going to look at digital dials and things like that. There are 2 USB power points, so 2 USB Type-C, one for data, one for charging. There's also a wireless charge pad there. There's a manual shifter inside of the ride. So you've got your park, reverse, neutral, drive. When you're in reverse, you've got your backup camera with a few basic views. So your backup view, and then your top-down view as well. It's actually kind of neat. The shifter, it's comfortable in the hand, but shifting into another gear, this drives me kind of nuts, but it's just a matter of pulling in order to go. Once you've got it figured out, it's okay, but the design there, I'm not too crazy about, just because it's an awkward position that you have to grab in order to be able to flip up to adjust gears. But I like that it's an actual hand shifter. You've got some cup holders there. There are a series of selectable drive modes, but look at this. Love the graphics here. And it shows you inside of the infotainment system as well as inside of the cluster screen. So if you want more economical driving, sportier performance, things like that, you've got different options. There's this little E button, and since this is the hybrid, you could force electric if you want to, and then you've also got an EV auto mode. So what these two modes are going to do, in the auto mode, the vehicle determines when the gas is going versus the electric motor. And then in the EV forced mode, it can force strict EV driving instead. The battery's pretty small, but it is pretty neat at the same time. You can see there how full you are. There's an electronic parking brake, brake hold, and a 12-volt power point inside of the armrest. The glove box is fully lockable, and it's also got a good amount of space. The overall visibility is pretty solid. No real issues with the pillars there. Up overhead, there's an auto-dimming rearview mirror. Basic controls for your cabin lights. There's a sunglasses holder here. And then there's also controls for your sunroof. So you can push up if you wanted to create a little breeze. Close it from there. It's a manual shade, but with the shade closed, you can push away. That just opens you up. Tiny little bug guard there. But that, it's beautiful. You've got a little ticket receipt holder on the outside. Vanity mirror has lights built in. And then this, oh yeah, look at that, extends out, blocking all of the sun. That might be hitting your face. I like that there's an assist handle there that's useful, but overall, I'd say outside of like this, the design I think is subtle, simple. The power button looks kind of neat there too. I love that digital cluster with map in cluster. So good. You are going to be 2 rows inside of this ride, so 5 seats total. So 2 in the front, 3 in the back. There's the option for second row heated outboard seats, so the middle seat would never be heated. Basic window controls with some door storage. With the driver's seat set up for myself being 6 feet tall, inside of the second row I've got a good amount of foot space, knee space, and with me sitting fully upright, the back of my head is actually touching the very top. So if I were to kind of slouch a little bit, I'd be okay, but it's really tight back here. So if you're taller than 6 feet, the only thing I would be concerned of is if you're in a rollover accident, the likelihood of something happening there. So shorter kids, or shorter people, I should say, if you've got kids, no issue there. All of your anchor points are there. Top tethers are behind the seats, or I should say above the seats. You can see the tether point there. You've got a little handle along both the passenger and the driver's side. The driver's side also has a little hook. There's a little light control up overhead as well. You're going to find a pocket behind just the passenger side, nothing behind the driver. And then there are some USB Type-C power points down there as well. There are some cup holders that are built in to the seat, but no, I wish that there was something here that you can easily pull down, because as is, you just got to jam some fingers in there and then crank down for a few cup holders. So if you need to separate kids, drinks, whatever the case may be. I like the thermoplastic rubber trays here. Just so much easier to clean them off. And then the middle, so there's a hump. So oh yeah, there's no way. If I thought that the outboard seats were tight, middle seat, oh yeah, it's not happening. Unless I slouch like crazy. Yeah, the middle seat it's actually comfortable. I will give Honda this. Like, the seat itself is comfortable. There's just no space for the second row for anybody that I would say is like above 5'7", maybe 5'8". But the ride itself, though, is plenty spacious. I'm not crazy about the color. Blue, I think, looks really sharp inside of the ride. But the car itself, like I said, is spacious overall, like even first row. So with the seat as far down as it's going to go, up overhead, I've got, 3.5-ish, almost 4 inches of headspace. It's 3.5, we'll say. So plenty spacious there. So 6'4", you'll probably comfortably be able to sit inside of this ride. I love that there's seat memory available as well. Some en route handling here. The handling is pretty solid. The cabin noise inside of the ride, there's a bit of noise. It's not the most quiet car that I've ever reviewed, but going highway speeds here, it's not a big deal. You've obviously got the option of just blasting music through the upgraded audio system here if you wanted to drown out any of that road noise, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. The headrest is extremely comfortable. Like, it's got a really good amount of cushion, and you'll see it here. So the car just took me around a bend without my hand on the steering wheel. So it doesn't have full hands-free driving, but it does have a lane keeping system. But after about 12 seconds or so, you get a message inside of the cluster screen letting you know that steering is required. But I mean, the system there, it works incredibly well. One of the cool things about the hybrid system is that the car figures out when it's going to flip between the gas versus the electric motor automatically, and it does it seamlessly. It's a nice quick transition. It just does it. It's not a plug-in hybrid, but like I said, the overall economy that you get over the regular gas Accord is ridiculously good. You're only going to find the Accord front-wheel drive, but still, it's responsive. That's just because it's a sedan, so it sits lower to the ground. Front-wheel drive in the wintertime, not necessarily a bad thing. I would just say get a good set of winter tires. I've driven front-wheel drive for years in the wintertime, and as long as you have a good set of winters, you do get good handling inside of it. All-wheel drive is obviously, even the turning radius there is good. But yeah, so it would be nice to see an all-wheel drive model, because all-wheel drive, you do get better traction all around in the wintertime, but still, front-wheel drive with a good set of winters on there, you're set to go. So do you look at the Accord as your next ride? It's going to depend on a few things. What's your budget? The question of the hybrid is going to depend on your driving habits and what you care about. If you want more power and better fuel economy, the hybrid should be on your radar, but it is pricier than the regular internal combustion engine, so the regular 1.5 turbo. But you can find all of the build details for this specific Honda down in the description, with links off to Honda Canada, US, and then all the tech walkthrough videos as well. But if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone if you think they might find it helpful, and until I see you next time, take care.